Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scrap Saturdays. I hope you're all doing well. Yes, I'm on a roll. I totally am so happy that I had enough sense to just let go and open up a new hip kit and then add it all together, because the next few layouts that I create are just full of what I like to say is pure inspiration, and it just gets me on a roll and it just gets me doing what I need to do. Right? Right. So if you're hoarding stuff, the first thing we're going to do today, the first thing we're going to talk about is crack into that stuff right away, right now. Open up that package of whatever it is that you love and just use it. Use it. And so here I have two pictures, two photographs, and they're roughly the same. And I'm going to say that, it's those photographs that while we were walking down to the swimming hole, I was like, whoa, this is beautiful. And so, of course, I'm the camera. I'm the photographer. Yes. And I just had to capture what I think my eyes were seeing. And then when you get home after a long trip and you've got 844 photographs and you're looking through all of them, this is the ones that I stumble on that I'm like, oh, well, why do I have two of the same? Oh, no, they're not the same. Oh, it was so much prettier when I first looked at it, but now they just look like two, photographs of just this. And so I thought I'm going to use them together. That's what I'm going to do. And I actually printed them both out, not even realizing. I have no idea. But in the end, we're just going to go with it. So my thing is I'm going to do a double layout where I can layer on top of each other. And it doesn't really matter because the top photo is going to give me the same look as the bottom photo. But there is some variation. Like my children are going down a very, very steep hill. And everything in Portugal is literally on a 90-degree angle. Like your ankles and your calves literally have to be in like pinpoint top shape to go down and up all these angles, right? And so as you can see, my daughter on the top photo, she's all the way to the far left. She's holding on to the railing. And then my son is kind of in the center, just following along, family members trying to literally, he looks like he's floating because it's such a steep hill. So yes, this is a beautiful, beautiful place that we went swimming, and off to the bottom right, or the bottom right center corner of the bottom photo, you are going to see, once it lands better, just underneath the flower, there's like natural swimming pools. So a whole little, here and there pockets of, but the tide was so low today that we couldn't swim in those natural pools. The only choice we had was all the way to the left and jumping into like the deep, deep ocean. So I created those journaling pockets, the one that says July, and I really love it. When I had that piece of paper, I purposely tried to aim so that the July would be a focus or a little lip at the top, because our vacation was August or July, right? Either way, sometimes I don't know exactly when these photos were taken, and that doesn't really matter to me because the vacation itself, the time frame. And so I do use my typewriter and I type up, "This is the swimming spot that you both love the most. It was São Caetano, where Adriano lives. The spot where from up top we thought it looked really too scary to jump in and swim. The spot where after jumping in we were amazed at the wide open ocean and how powerful the undercurrent was. Remember, G? Me and you getting pulled back and forth, and you, Gus, swimming up to the fishermen and seeing those huge tropical fish. And oh my, yes, the big purple octopus. So aren't you? So yeah, aren't you glad that we just jumped in together?" So I really love the journaling now. I really have to talk about that. And I just think that, just talking the way that I do, the way that I type, the way that things come into my mind, there's no right or wrong way, right? You can write as little or as much as you want to, but really, I'm so glad that I get to capture so much more of this vacation now that I've started the journaling. And I really want to say that, I know for all of you out there who have been journaling, totally say, "I told you so, Monica." I'm hearing you. Yes, yes. Just scream it out. Told you so. You should have been doing it a long time ago. Yes, I know. Bandwagoner here. Bandwagoner. I'm jumping on the journaling bandwagon. Yes, I love it. And so I love that I'm able to tell this story for my children, because looking at this photograph, believe me, there's 100 of these. There's 100 of these little corners and little spots. But being able to say, do you remember, the back and forth? And we were swimming in the ocean. I was swimming with Gabriella. I sometimes call her G for short. And the current was so powerful. And it was, two purposes. One is to teach my children the respect of, or the respect for, the ocean, right? The ocean is a mind and an entity onto itself. It is not forgiving, right? If you think you're a strong swimmer, it has nothing to do with your swimming skills. It has to do with the respect that we pay to the ocean. When the ocean is in its current, when it's in its tide and its state of flow, we as humans must humble ourselves and respect the ocean for what it does. Right? And I was showing her that. I was showing that it didn't matter how much we swam and how strong we were, that as soon as that undertow came and that current wanted to push back the ocean because the tide had to continue to empty itself, that the ocean would always win. And she was like, wow, Mom, I understand. It also taught my son that, such amazing, beautiful, large tropical fish actually exist and swim and live in this ocean. Because what we're used to is the Walmart corner of like an aquarium where you see these tiny little Nemo fish. But what he saw was literally the size of his torso. Beautiful, beautiful colored fish. And then as he was clinging onto the rocks and swimming closer to shore, one of the pockets through his goggles, he came up and he was like in hysterics. I thought something bad had happened, but no, he actually found an octopus clinging to the wall. And he told me, he's like, the purples that I saw, Mom, and the colors and just everything about it, it was like a gray, purple, deep hued, and he was just describing the tentacles. And at first I thought he was lying. Okay, guys, sure. Yeah, an octopus. Over there. Yeah. And then I went with him and I'm like, oh my gosh, there actually is this ginormous octopus, which I didn't even know that I thought they were like in the depths of, the ocean of God knows where. But no, we got to see such amazing things because we ourselves were thinking that we were like in Cuba where the water is clear and you can see your toes and your pedicure and your sparkly polish. No. We were out in the deep ocean. This is the deep ocean. This is where they live. And so it was an amazing, amazing afternoon. It was an afternoon where, I'm blown away by being able to say that at the top of this mountain or the top of this little view before we went down to the swim hole, it looked really scary. Because we could tell that the natural swimming pools were too low for us to swim. And we understood that if we chose to swim here, we'd have to be very courageous and jump into the deep ocean. And so what I want to say is that even though I told my children the truth and I said, yeah, I'm scared too, but maybe we should try. Maybe we should try something completely different with each other, right? And that's why I wrote, aren't we so glad that we jumped in together? And together we created this amazing memory of having the courage, and what does that mean? And respecting the ocean, and what does that mean? And it's so beautiful, and I love the way it all turned out. At first I didn't know if I liked that metallic pink and all those die cuts that came out, but you know what? It's perfect. It totally just made those photographs have purpose and come alive. So be inspired. Yes, I know you've been journaling before me, but be inspired to tell your story. Whatever it is, however crazy it comes out, because one day I do hope my children and I sit down and we look back and we pull out these tags and we laugh our heads off remembering how crazy scared we were, but also how in love we were with the spot and how amazing it was to say that we actually did it. Great big hugs, guys. Be inspired. Be inspired to open up a new package of something. Be inspired to scrapbook 2 photos that look exactly the same but have a completely different story to tell. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for all your comments and all your support. So make time for this hobby. Make time for yourself. Do not feel guilty because this hobby heals. Thank you so much, guys. Big hugs, and I will see you all very, very soon.